Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Independence Missouri School District Board of Education's work session, December 9, 2025. Thank you for bearing with us and getting out in the cold weather. We have Madeline Garrett this evening with us that will support us in walking through our agenda. So I am calling this meeting to order. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The motion passes. Thank you. Our second item is new business, and it is to review the superintendent job description. At this time, I'm going to introduce some and present to others. Madeline Garrett, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Yes, thank you for having me. Tonight we have a job description of the superintendent's position. Our office drafted this. Of course, we looked at the current policies. There's the school superintendent policy, so we made sure all of those duties that are listed in there are included here. We also looked at other examples in other districts, so we compiled this document for you for your review, and I'm here tonight to take any feedback you may have on that before you decide to adopt it or use it in the future, which I believe is going to happen at a subsequent meeting. So
We would like to have copies to review. An opportunity for us to see it and review it. I guess I would entertain any questions for Madeline that we might have at this time that she could address for us.
As we're just now seeing this, what portions are specific to the ISD versus similar language used elsewhere?
So, specific to the policy school superintendent, it's a summary essentially of the duties of the superintendent. So those are included throughout. I can't say there's just one spot that's specific to ISD necessarily. These are all duties of the superintendent that we've broken down by certain topics like board relationships, leaderships, that type of thing. So some of the items that are currently in policy under the duties we've expanded on and some more details in this job description.
Can you advise if this has been revised from maybe the previous description?
At this moment, I'm not sure what was in place beforehand. You may have had something under your previous policy and regulations. I'd have to go back and look.
I appreciate how you have this broken down into like categories. It makes it a lot easier to kind of, if you're looking for something in particular, it makes it easier to find. A couple of questions I had. I noticed that at the top it says supervises all district personnel. I didn't know if it would be appropriate maybe to have direct reports to the superintendent, or if that's something that you don't normally see.
I believe there's a line about central office staff under personnel administration. The last bullet, it's on page 3.
Right, it says supervise and manage central office.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that there were, when I looked at the organizational chart previously, there were individuals that directly reported to the superintendent, and then some of them have their own, direct reports. And that kind of brings me to another thing too. Would it be appropriate to have an organizational chart with the job description?
That's an option that you could do, or we could expand upon in this personnel section about who the direct reports are that you're mentioning. We could include that too.
I think as anybody that would be looking at the superintendent's role, it would be very helpful for them to see kind of how the district's organized. I think that would be a helpful thing to have. And actually, I'm thinking if you did do that, you could probably not worry about the direct reports because you're going to see it on the organizational chart.
Well, and I would still think that there's value in adding and direct reports because not everybody is housed at central office.
That's correct.
I would think if we listed them though within the job description, it would make it a little harder to change, you know, it might be easier to just say see organizational chart or something.
Yeah, maybe say where the location of it is.
Yes.
One other thing that kind of gave me a little bit of pause was in student relations. Looks like it's the 6th bullet. It says respond to serious student incidents, grievances, or disciplinary appeals as required by policy or law. That word serious feels kind of nebulous to me. I mean, what qualifies as serious? I don't know. That one, I don't know. For some reason, that one just kind of feels a little bit weird to me.
I'm assuming that would mean like a 180-day suspension, but I'm just assuming, and that's based on experience here. So I agree that we might need to clarify that. Just a good idea.
Well, and I think just removing the serious portion, per your point, because it says as required by policy or law, so it's already kind of defined what they would be looking at.
Defined by policy.
Yeah, policy or law. Removing serious.
I had a question and observation on page 3. Communication and community relations serve as the official spokesperson for the district unless otherwise designated by the board. Is that standard for the superintendent to be the spokesperson for the district?
Yes, and
Okay.
I believe we have that in policy, similar language.
That is in policy.
And so that brings me to my next question. I know there have been occasions where our public relations person would speak on behalf of the district, but I'm not sure if that was appointed by the board or if that was something that the superintendent appointed. So would the superintendent have the ability with this description to appoint someone outside of themselves to be spokesperson?
I'm just taking a second to look here at the policy too. So are you talking about like a situation where communications put something out
As it relates to the spokesperson, anything that I guess would go out to media, I guess I needed some clarity on that because I've seen it differently.
Okay. Yeah, the policy just talks about the superintendent serving as the official spokesperson, so I think it depends on how, like if it's a media request versus like an announcement made by the communications person. I don't know any specific situations where the communications person did that. I'm not aware in my role, so.
Yeah, spokesperson for the district seems to me very, very wide open, so I maybe some clarifying.
I think it's a good point because I've seen the communications director be the liaison for newspaper articles and giving official statements for the district. So it seems like that might be something that should be addressed.
There is language, I know in policy, that says superintendent or designee. Could we
That's what
just
I was
work that in there somehow?
Right, so in this description reads, serve as official spokesperson for the district unless otherwise designated by the board. And so I was just trying to clarify if that means for in this situation, if Dr. Green said, hey, Megan can speak to this issue, is that allowable in this description? Is basically what I wanted to get clarity on.
And or policy, I mean, if the policy says, I can't remember if the policy says and designee or designated by board, because that seems like it's a little bit more closed.
Can you please remind me what board policy number is for this that we're referring to, just so I can pull it up in my at the same time?
C-115P.
I don't have any further questions. Would there be any other additional discussion or questions? Would also like to acknowledge Carrie is virtual. If you have any questions, please feel free at this time to ask Madeline while she's with us. All right, sounds like we are good to go. Thank you for your time, Madeline.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Alrighty. With that being said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn our our work session.
Second.
Whoa. It's been, sorry. It has been motion and seconded. Roll call, please.
Gary Dixon,
Yes.
Anthony J. Monday,
Yes.
Denise Spears,
Yes.
Jill Ezra,
Yes.
Blake Robertson, Randy Dorente,
Yes.
Vicky Harrison.
Yes.
That motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you.